Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 202. And I do want to apologize for canceling yesterday's show, but I had a really bad headache. I had a whole bunch of back pain to deal with, and I still had an orientation and mobility lesson that I needed to do. And I just knew that I was not going to bring you guys a coherent and quality stream. So I just decided to cancel. So I do apologize. There is going to be just a regular coffee stream today. I didn't end up being able to book a guest, but I figured since we did an extra call-in day this week, and since we had the Wednesdays with Skep, and since I canceled yesterday, that I would just spend some time with you guys and hang out with chat and catch up on some news and have some fun and just have a relaxed stream, um, and just chill with you guys for an hour. So let's say hi to chat before we get into the news. Let's see. We have with us a Skep Talk. Hello, Skep. We have Duck Dog. Hi, Duck Dog. Rolling Bear is here as well. Hello to you, Rolling Bear. Also, again, although it's the next day, I do wish you a happy birthday again, Rolling Bear. Um, oh, I need a drink of coffee already. That's better. So, Pincalo has sent me some news, and there is tons of news in the Discord that we will probably be grabbing for Blind and the Special on Sunday, because there is a lot of news from Gunfox. So, oh, no worries, Rolling Bear. So let's switch over to Safari. And Pincalo sent me this story just about an hour ago. And it is newly released documents related to the Glen Assange wrongful conviction case appear to point to serial killer. And so that's the byline, that's the heading. And then the first headline is serial killer named as suspect in killing at center of Glen Assange wrongful conviction case. So there's this person who's been wrongfully convicted of murder, and it seems like they've uncovered a serial killer. So this was posted 2 hours ago, last updated 38 minutes ago. And it says the case against Glen Assange was dismissed in a Halifax court on Friday. So this is a Canadian case from Nova Scotia. There is a video that it's the CBC, so I don't want to risk them copyright striking me. So we'll just read the article that's below the video.
Newly released documents point to serial killer Michael Wayne McRae as another potential suspect in the killing of Brandy Way, a crime that another man, Glen Assange, was found to be wrongfully convicted of committing in Nova Scotia. The bundle of documents released by a Nova Scotia Supreme Court Justice Friday were instrumental in getting the murder charge against Assange dropped. They were unsealed following an application by CBC News, the Canadian Press, and the Halifax Examiner.
See? Okay, that is what journalism is supposed to do. If things have gone wrong, journalism is supposed to uncover stuff like that. Journalism is not supposed to just be a ridiculous reeing fest. That is good investigative journalism.
Advertisement. It's a preliminary assessment compiled by Justice Department investigator Mark Green said witness Mike Hebert and McRae were in prison together when McRae slipped him notes, telling him details about crimes he committed. It said Hebert told investigators that McRae said he murdered a prostitute that lived close to him in Dartmouth and that he slit her throat.
Wow. Okay.
Convicted serial killer Michael Wayne McRae is escorted into provincial court in Halifax on May 28, 2001.
Oh, that's okay. So Michael Wayne McRae was actually a pretty well-known serial killer. Canada, believe it or not, has quite a few serial killers. You know, everyone goes, "Oh, Canadians, they're so nice." We have some pretty horrific serial killer types here. We've got let's see, this Michael Wayne McRae. I can't remember exactly his MO. But we also had oh, Dax is here. Hello, Dax. Six is here too. Hello. We've had this guy, Michael Wayne McRae. We have the Elizabeth Wettlaufer. She was an angel of death serial killer. We have the Bruce McArthur, I believe his name is. Bruce McArthur, I believe. Yeah. He killed his victims and then put their remains into planter boxes that he then sold as a landscaper. We have Clifford Olson, who is dead, thankfully. Finally, the bastard. He died in prison. We have Robert Pickton, who killed and fed, I believe it was something like 50 prostitutes to his pigs in BC. We have a lot of serial, and these are all recent. I do have like 300 news stories to go over, Gunfox. You are correct. Okay, so go, sweetheart. Children.
It said Hebert told him to convict this crime McRae image. And he said he dropped her body at the back of his building and that the police found the body in a dumpster. The document said.
I'm going to have to mute. Hold on, guys. So go, honey. Oh, sorry, guys. We've got the 5-year-olds. We've got the 5-year-old needing permission to go to the bathroom. Sorry about that. Anyway,
Your camera. In his conclusion, Green said there was a host of new information suggesting links between Michael McRae as well as other suspects and the murder of Brenda Way. You are currently on it. I am of the view that on the basis of all this new and significant information, there may be a reasonable basis to conclude that a miscarriage of justice likely occurred in your case, he wrote.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that we have we have, sorry about that. It's too bad. I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'm glad that we have a justice that's willing to entertain and basically understand when there's been a miscarriage of justice. That's awesome. I'm glad.
I am of the view that on the basis of all this new and significant information, there may be a reasonable basis to conclude that a miscarriage of justice likely occurred in your case, he wrote. The documents also reveal there were pages missing from RCMP booklets that related to the killing.
Oh dear. That's not a good look for the RCMP. RCMP stands for Royal Canadian Mounted Police, by the way. That's our federal police force, basically. It also doubles as provincial police for several provinces who don't have their own provincial police. Ontario has its own. Quebec, I believe, also has its own provincial police. I don't know off the top of my head what other provinces have provincial police, but I do know that the RCMP acts as provincial police for BC. Yeah, it's a yeah, Alex is in one of those stages where he has to tell me that he needs to go to the bathroom and needs me to tell him to go before he'll go. He just doesn't go on his own. It's weird. Let's see. All right, let's see here.
The Nova Scotia
Did I mute?
RCMP,
I didn't mute. Okay, good.
The Nova Scotia RCMP released a statement Friday saying that in 2014, an then-serving member of the RCMP alleged his analysis and material related to the homicide were missing and had been intentionally destroyed.
Interesting. So that answers my question. The Nova Scotia is one of those provinces for whom the RCMP acts as provincial police. So this member is alleging that his evidence had been taken and destroyed. That's an interesting allegation. Yeah, Logic, we're not having a guest today just because oh, your messages got buffered on yours. Weird. Anyway, yeah, there's no guest today, Logic, because I canceled the stream yesterday. And I just wanted to, catch up with you guys, read some news, catch up on the news, and have kind of a chillax stream. That, and I wasn't able to book a guest in time. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Let's see here.
The RCMP said it conducted an investigation and found that worksheets had been deleted in 2004.
Interesting. So 2004, some worksheets had been deleted. I wonder why.
The deletions were contrary to policy and shouldn't have happened, the statement said. They were not done, however, with malicious intent. Way's body was discovered behind an apartment building on Albert Lake Road in Dartmouth, NS, on November 12, 1995. The 28-year-old had been stabbed multiple times and her throat slashed. Glenna Sound, shown outside the Halifax Lockharts earlier this month, was wrongfully convicted of second-degree murder and spent 17 years in prison, Steve Lawrence /CBC figure.
Oh, just a second, guys. Hey, what's up? Yeah. Oh. Okay. Pincolo didn't get a notification, so he was like, "What's going on? Are you okay? Are you running?" No, it's no, I'm here. So let's see. Actually, I was going to suggest that anytime you can't book a guest, you can have another call-in day. That's actually a pretty good idea. Check your logic. I tried, says Skeptalk. Don't worry. It's okay, dude. I appreciate it. I always appreciate it, my friend.
Glenna Sound image. End of Glenna Sound. Suspicion end of Glenna Sound. Suspicion immediately fell on her former boyfriend, Sound, now 63. He was charged, convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. His
Oof.
appeal was rejected by the Nova Scotia Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Canada refused to hear his case.
Damn. That is terrible.
Sound maintained his innocence during his nearly 17 years behind bars. He managed to persuade lawyers from the Association in Defense of the Wrongly Convicted, a group later renamed Innocence Canada, to get involved.
Yeah, Innocence Canada is a pretty big association here for the wrongfully convicted.
Brenda Way was found stabbed to death in a Dartmouth apartment in 1995. Glenna Sound was convicted 4 years later of second-degree murder. Figure. That group then persuaded the Federal Justice Department to take another look at the case, and what investigators for the department found prompted Justice Minister David Lametti to overturn Sound's conviction earlier this year.
Good. He can't, but the crappy part is he can't ever get those years back. He lost 17 years. It's a lot of years. We have a few famous wrongful conviction cases, and I think this one might fall under that. We had David Milgaard from the 80s. He was convicted of the rape and murder of a woman. And then there was one of the most famous was Stephen Truscott, who was convicted, tried as an adult, first of all, in the rape and murder of a friend of his when he was 12 years old. At 14, he was convicted and just narrowly escaped hanging. He would have been one of the last people hung in Canada, but he narrowly escaped hanging. And he was freed, I believe, in the 70s, and he was convicted in the murder happened in 59, and he was convicted in 61 and spent his rest of his teenage years and a good chunk of his young 20s and 30s in prison. And he wasn't pardoned until 2007, I think. And the government apologized to him in 2007. It was bad. So this is I'm glad that that this guy got his conviction overturned.
In addition to alternative suspects, the investigators also looked at the failings that led to what Lametti called a potential miscarriage of justice.
A potential miscarriage of justice, huh?
Bullet. Link. Glenna Sound lawyers have bullet link. I finally proved my innocence. Outside court on Friday, Sound said he remains angry, but is trying to move beyond those feelings.
Yeah, no doubt. I would be angry too.
It's been 21 years and it's destroyed my life. The time gone is time I'll never get back, he said.
No.
In handing down his decision, Justice James Chipman said the public deserves to know the information in the documents. Mr. Sound must be able to tell a story, said Chipman. The media must be able to report on why the minister made his decision. The CBC's Blair Rhodes has been tweeting developments in the case this morning.
Okay, so they've got a bunch of tweets from the CBC. We've got a timeline here. It's just a quick timeline here. It says the murder of Brenda Leanne Way, November 12th, 1995, Brenda Leanne Way is found murdered in an apartment building at 109 Auburn Lake Road in Dartmouth. She had been stabbed several times and her throat was cut. March 25th, 1998, Glenn Eugene Asone is charged with first-degree murder. June 1st, 1999, Asone's trial begins. June 7th, 1999, Asone requests mistrial. Request is denied. The trial is subsequently adjourned to August 23rd. On that date, it says Asone tells judge he will represent himself. September 17th, 1999, Asone is convicted of second-degree murder. October 13th, 1999, Asone files a notice of appeal. January 17th, 2006, Nova Scotia Court of Appeal hears Asone appeal. On April 20th, the court rejects his appeal. Holy fuck, they made him wait 7 years and then rejected it? God damn. June 19th, 2006, Asone applies to the Supreme Court of Canada. Later that year, the Supreme Court of Canada says it will not hear Asone's appeal. September 23rd, 2010, lawyers for the Association in Defense of the Wrongly Convicted, later renamed Innocence Canada, agree to take Asone's case. April 18th, 2013, and the Innocence Canada applies to the minister for a ministerial review of the Asone case through the Criminal Conviction Review Group, CCRG, within the Federal Justice Department. August 19th, 2014, CCRG releases preliminary report to Asone and the Nova Scotia Public Prosecution, but some information is not released. Attorney General of Canada applies for seal and order and publication ban on the material produced by the CCRG. The media is informed of the application of the publication ban. October 14th, judge grants ban and seals the records. Brilliant. Asone applies for bail while his case is reviewed and bail is granted. Well, that's good. We skip to 2017 to where he applies for permission to alter bail conditions to allow him to return and live in Nova Scotia. Permission is granted. Oh, so I guess he was sent to Ontario to serve in Millhaven, I'm guessing. September 17th, 1999, I was 18. My liver had one hell of a New Year's that year. Or I had one hell of a New Year's that year. My liver didn't. That's funny. And then February 28th, 2019, newly appointed Federal Justice Minister David Lametti overturns Asone's conviction, orders a new trial. So he had to wait 2 years. Wow. So, and then by March 1st, the Nova Scotia Prosecution Service basically drops the charges. So that's a long freaking time. And he maintains his innocence for the whole time. That's, wow, that poor guy. I wonder if he's going to seek recompense. Yep, 1999 to 2019. Yep. All of that time in jail. That's crazy. So let's see here. What's the next story from Pink Hollow? Let's see here. Next story. No, I don't want to play the video. I just want to read the thingy. The thingy. That's the technical term. Did you guys know that? Dispute between Pelosi and Squad. Squad? Weird. That's a weird way of putting that. Dispute between Pelosi and the Squad has House Democrats pleading for unity. What squad? The AOC squad? All right, let's read this.
Washington, CNN, House Democrats are calling for unity amid a week of escalating tensions and sharp words that have once again laid bare the deep divides in a caucus fractured along ideological and generational lines.
Oh boy.
A growing rift has spilled out into public view between Link, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and Link, Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, of course it has.
Of New York, who has pushed back in the face of comments from the speaker that have widely been interpreted as hostile toward the four progressive freshman Democrats known as the Squad: Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, and Diana Presley of Massachusetts.
The Squad. What a stupid name. It's not. Aren't you supposed to put a name before the word squad? You can't just be the Squad. That's retarded. You have to be the I don't know, the retard squad is what comes to my mind first and foremost. The let's see, what else is a good what else is a great descriptive term that we can put into the name here. The Democrats, yes. Let's see. We've got. Oh, what did you type, Dex? Okay, yeah, I see why you feel bad. Let's see.
The tensions could make it harder for House Democrats to coalesce as several major fights loom, from deadlines to lift the debt limit and fund the government to avert another shutdown to oversight of the Trump administration is now. Link, more than 80 Democrats, urging to start an impeachment inquiry.
There's nothing to impeach him over. Why are you guys insisting on turning on each other? This is ridiculous. You guys are solidifying your loss next year. Just so you know, Democrats, you are making sure that you will lose with this behavior. The undeserved love squad, yes. The squad, yes. The tard squad, yes. The entitled squad. The A-team were just a team.
Frame, when pressed by reporters on recent comments Ocasio-Cortez made to Link, The Washington Post, saying that there has been an explicit singling out of newly elected women of color, Pelosi sounded like she wanted to change the subject. I've said what I'm going to say in the caucus, the speaker responded at her weekly news conference on Thursday when asked about the remark. You are currently...
Really? You're going to go after women of color? Oh, we're women of color and we're being singled out. Poor us. Fuck off. Oh my God. That's disgusting. Why? Perpetual victimhood, once again. We're women of color. We can't possibly do anything for ourselves, so we have to whine about being picked on because we're women of color. Not possibly because we're saying shit that even our own party is going, we do not condone this. We do not agree. That's okay. When your own party is looking at you and going, what the fuck are you talking about? You may have an issue. It's probably not your race either. It's probably what's coming out of your mouth. You know, I'm willing to bet that it's not your race. It's what's coming out of that face hole of yours. She couldn't play the sexism card, so she played the race card. Yep. You've heard of the Suicide Squad. Now they bring us the Socialist Squad. Yep. The Marxist Squad, the Squad of Carl. Yes. Love it.
The day before, on Wednesday, Pelosi, Link, had delivered an impassioned pitch for unity herself during a closed-door caucus meeting, encouraging her colleagues to turn their ire on the Republican Senate Majority Leader instead of one another, and seeking to defend moderate members of her caucus who are on the front lines of elections in places where Trump won or where Democrats have flipped long-held GOP seats.
Yeah, you guys are going to lose those seats if you keep this up. All of the ground that you gained in the midterms, if you keep this going, you are going to lose, and you are going to lose it spectacularly. You think the Trump win in 2016 was an upset? Holy crap. If you keep this infighting up, you are going to be super surprised. It is not going to be fun for you. And it's probably not going to be fun for the rest of us either, because we're going to have to listen to the temper tantrums that are going to ensue afterward.
According to Democrats in the meeting, Pelosi also urged members against tweets admonishing fellow Democratic members of Congress. Just one recent example, Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff came under fire for comparing moderates to segregationists. He has since deleted the tweet. On Thursday morning, however, Ocasio-Cortez appeared to stand by her claim that Pelosi unfairly singles out women of color, telling CNN, "It's really just pointing out the pattern, right? We're not talking about just progressives. It's signaling out for individuals, and knowing the media environment that we're operating in, knowing the amount of death threats that we get, knowing the amount of concentration of tension, I think it's just worth asking why."
So you're nuts. Okay, so is it women of color, or is it just the four of you? Pick one. You just said it yourself. It's just against four individuals. Maybe it's because your ideas and your words are retarded, and the rest of your party is going, please shut up, please shut up, please shut up, please, for the love of God, shut up. We are like the Democratic Party is in a very, very precarious position, and AOC and her little gang are not helping. And the rest of the Democrats are finally seeing that. Like, they at first were like, oh, look at these wonderful, freshman congressmen. Or representatives. They're not happy with those four anymore, because even the Democrats can tell that it is not politically expedient to have these four running around running their mouths. It's just not. Even the most leftist person with their head up their ass is starting to see that AOC and her little friends are just not helping at all politically. The Tantrum Squad. Yes, Mr. Dax. I love it. Yep, the Tantrum Squad. Let's see. Gotta duck out. Quack, quack, quack. Bye. See you later, Bjorn. Racist autistic reading from the Democrats. Who would have thought? I know, I'm shocked. It's just unbelievable. Screen reader. Playing with the SC. Onomatopoeia.
Though when asked if she believed that Pelosi has racial animus, Ocasio-Cortez said adamantly, no, absolutely not, absolutely not.
Okay, so she doesn't have racial animus. However, she's picking out women of color. how I don't understand how AOC can walk in a straight line from all the turning around in circles she does. She's so contradictory. I do not understand how she can function. Like her brain, it's a miracle that her brain just doesn't self-destruct. I should sleep. No, I should stand on my head. I should eat. No, I should starve myself. Like this is wow.
After the 4 progressive freshmen Blink opposed a House border aid bill, Pelosi downplayed their influence within the House Democratic caucus, telling Blink, the New York Times, all these people have their public whatever in their Twitter world, but adding, but they didn't have any following. They're 4 people and that's how many votes they got. You are currently
Wait, what?
all these people have their public whatever in their Twitter world, but adding, but they didn't have any following. They're 4 people and that's how many votes they got.
Oh, they didn't have any following, therefore people, and that's how many votes they got. Okay.
The comments followed. Blink, a contentious and at times emotional debate over the border legislation that split House Democrats along progressive and centrist ideological lines.
Of course it did, because the Democrats can't find a freaking ideology to agree on. I just don't understand. Before you blow a gasket, dear, realize the AOC can't work. I know, I can't, my brain just doesn't comprehend the contradictions.
Moderate members argued that it was important to pass a Senate version of the legislation when it appeared that the upper chamber would refuse to take up the House bill, while progressives railed against the process and insisted that lawmakers were not doing enough to negotiate for and ensure adequate protections for migrant children detained at the border.
Yes, because progressives have no idea how politics work.
Heading Level 3, Pelosi defenders question AOC's remark. A number of House Democrats came to Pelosi's defense on Thursday in the wake of Ocasio-Cortez's singling out comment. Karen Bass, the chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus, told CNN that the criticism that Pelosi singles out women of color is not correct and that she planned to talk to the freshman Democrat about it.
See, there are Democrats now that they're just going, okay, this has to stop. Like, now. You're not helping. And, like, I have a feeling that that's going to be what's going to be said. There's going to be many calls for AOC to visit many offices. And she's going to hear very similar things. It's going to be, Ms. Cortez, you need to cut this out. You are not doing the Democratic Party any favors by saying things that you know are not true. And you need to stop. Otherwise, you will ensure a Trump victory. Let's see. RBA, hello. Let's see.
I did see that she said that, and I actually want to go talk to her about that, Bass said, adding, I don't believe that that's the correct frame. Asked if the criticism is unfair, Bass said, well, I want to find out why she's making that criticism. I certainly know that she has been critical of some women of color, but I don't think that means that that's who she's targeting.
No, she's probably being critical of them for what they've said, not for them being women of color.
Rep. Lacy Clay of Missouri accused Ocasio-Cortez of using the race card. What a weak argument, Clay said, because you can't get your way, and because you're getting pushback, you resort to use the race card. Unbelievable to me.
Good. Keep calling this out. I'm glad the Democrats, well, at least some of the Democrats, are waking up to AOC and understanding how ridiculous she is. I hope this keeps happening.
A member of the Congressional Black Caucus, Clay has served in the House since 2001. In the 2018 election, Clay had a primary challenger, whom Ocasio-Cortez backed. He is again facing a challenger in the primary for 2020. York, a progressive House aide, told CNN that they have never seen members picked on by a speaker this much before. The aide added that the alienation of the freshman progressives has been a pattern and said, "Unless you are a woman of color in that situation, I don't think you can judge."
Okay. Oh, come on. Maybe the woman of color in question should stop saying stupid shit.
Heading level 3, it's time to move on. Meanwhile, some House Democrats are seeking common ground between the factions. A key progressive voice, Rep. Rokan of California, who is friends with Ocasio-Cortez, told CNN that it is time to move on and rally around the speaker. "It's time to move on. Let's rally around the speaker," Gana said on Thursday. "We need to support the speaker, and she is the most successful woman in American politics in history. She is the leader, and we need to support her and focus our fire on people like Mitch McConnell or the president." And some members appear to hope that further discussion could lead to a productive result. Wisconsin Rep. Mark Buchan, a co-chairman of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, said on Thursday that he and Washington Rep. Pramila Jayapal, another co-chair, are setting up a meeting with Pelosi and Majority Leader Steny Hoyer of Maryland. "We're actually setting up a meeting," Buchan replied when he was asked about the public divisions. "This is a pretty busy week on the floor for everybody, but probably next week."
So, long story short, lots of division in the Democratic Party. Like we all freaking called everyone in this sphere of YouTube. Everyone has been calling this. Yep. We are talking about the AOC squad, RVA. I wouldn't hold my breath. Yeah. Assuming the freshman senator doesn't have a fucking brick for a brain. Yeah. That's true. Very true. All right. I think we've got one more story from Pink Hollow. And then we may have time to grab a story from Gunfox, but I don't know because we've only got 20 minutes left until it's 1 o'clock. And then I got to go play with Mr. Alexander again. Let's see. City watchdog finds TTC did not adequately investigate officers who detained black man on subway car platform. Oh boy. Oh boy. This will be good. TTC stands for Toronto. Yes, Toronto Transit Commission. So, like the buses, the streetcars, the subways, all that shit falls under TTC.
A city watchdog has identified serious flaws with an internal TTC investigation that largely exonerated 3 fare inspectors who forcibly detained a young black man on a streetcar platform last year. A report released Thursday. Toronto Ombudsman Susan Upler concluded that while the transit agency's investigation into the conduct of its own officers had some positive aspects, it failed to examine evidence of potential racial bias and was not adequately thorough, fair, and transparent to support its conclusions.
Oh boy.
Reese Maxwell Crawford has brought a lawsuit against the TTC alleging discrimination on basis of his race, color, ancestry, ethnic origin, place of origin, or citizenship in regards to the 2018 incident. Image.
Okay.
Reese Maxwell, the TTC, issued a statement saying the agency accepts her recommendations and committed to implementing them by the end of this year.
But what happened?
"We are committed to human rights and to celebrating diversity, and I know that we can and need to, and will, do better," said TTC CEO Rick Leary.
Oh, come on. What? Okay, but what happened? Why was he detained in the first place? Well, I'll be working over the weekend, but Pink Hollow, the Driving Ape Man, I've got a few that will make even you lose your mind. Yeah, we'll have lots of things to cover. Let's see. El Toranzo, yes. El Toranzo.
The confrontation between the inspectors and the young man on the St. Clair streetcar route on February 18, 2018 incident was caught on video and raised concerns about the behavior of transit officers after the footage was widely circulated online.
But what happened?
Article continued below. In a video, read more. In a video shot by a bystander, the man, Reese Maxwell Crawford, who was 19 at the time, can be heard crying, "I didn't do anything though and you're hurting me," as he's pinned to the ground by a trio of TTC inspectors as well as Toronto police officers who came to assist them. Read more. Link. Man's link. A 100 link. A 101-page investigation the TTC released in July 2018. Link. A link. TTC officers have collected more than aside from concluding that one of the fare inspectors had inappropriately smiled at the young man. The Ombudsman, an accountability officer responsible for overseeing municipal employees, launched her own inquiry into the TTC investigation last year. Her resulting report didn't examine the incident itself, which is now the subject of a lawsuit.
So someone smiled at him? And what is that what I'm getting here?
Link. Maxwell Crawford has brought against the TTC alleging racial profiling. And she didn't reach any conclusion about whether the officers did anything wrong. Article continued below. But Opler concluded that the TTC investigation had very serious problems. She wrote that the TTC investigators failed to ask enough questions, make clear findings of fact about key aspects of the case, and apply the correct standard of proof to determine whether misconduct had taken place. One problem she highlighted was that a TTC inspector told the agency's investigators the confrontation started after Maxwell Crawford entered the streetcar and stared at him for a prolonged period of time. But footage from a security camera inside the vehicle showed the inspector spoke to Maxwell Crawford within 2 seconds of the team boarding the streetcar. You were currently on
He
it.
stared at him? Really? That's okay, this is weird. There's enough in there to cover you for a 3-hour news stream for 3 to 5 days. I don't doubt it, my dude. And I do appreciate all the news that you drop in the Discord. I like, seriously. It's awesome. I do appreciate it all.
The TTC investigation did not address this key discrepancy, the Ombudsman found. She also concluded there was evidence that could have supported a finding of unconscious bias on the part of TTC officers and witnesses, but the original investigation failed to analyze it. She wrote that investigators should have asked why both inspectors and witnesses reported seeing Maxwell Crawford threatening things that the video showed he never did, such as clenching his fists or putting his hands in his pockets, or what caused inspectors and witnesses to fear without evidence that the young man might have a weapon. Opler also found TTC investigators failed to examine whether inspectors followed agency policy that dictates they should disengage from potentially difficult situations. Additionally, her report flagged the fact that the expert witness TTC investigators called in to help determine whether misconduct occurred had potential conflicts of interest because he was the owner of a company the transit agency had contracted to train its officers.
Yep. Wow. That's okay. Well done. Well done, TTC. Good job.
She also said the head TTC investigator himself was not sufficiently independent from the officers he was tasked with scrutinizing, because before taking on the investigator role he had worked for the Transit Enforcement Unit for more than a decade and knew many of its members. You were a screenshot from a February 2018 video of TTC fare inspectors forcibly detaining 19-year-old Reese Maxwell Crawford. Image. A screenshot. The report made 6 recommendations, including that the TTC strengthen the independence of its investigations into its officers, and consider creating a protocol for retaining external investigators with no ties to the agency. It also recommended that the agency only use expert witnesses who are independent from the TTC, and develop a plan to provide additional training to investigators to ensure they can conduct fair and independent inquiries.
It
You were
needs to
correct.
say that. The TTC needs to be told all that. Wow. Boy, I'm glad I don't live in Toronto. I mean, I'm really annoyed about the light rail transit system in my city right now, but holy crap, am I glad I don't live in Toronto. Fuck. Hello, Sora. Oh, police. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go look for that story right now to end off the stream with. Gunfox has a story. I'm gonna find that story right now, and we're gonna end the stream with that story. Let's search that up right now. Oh my goodness. Apparently I need more coffee. Let's see here. All right. And here we go. News for the coffee stream. Where is it here? Do. Trying to find it here. How recently did you put it in there, Gunny? Oh, okay. Second news story from the bottom. Okay. Let's see. Ah, here it is. Found it. Found it. All right, let's read about these stupid, stupid teenagers. Let's see. Let's get through these. Here we go.
2 teenagers face multiple charges after allegedly staging a kidnapping prank for a link. YouTube video last week in the parking lot of a Georgia mall.
Wow. Freaking morons.
The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office said it received multiple calls on 3 July from outside the Collection Forsyth shopping center about a woman whose body was tied up and face covered by a pillowcase as she screamed inside an SUV. "He is going to kill me," the woman said while screaming, witnesses told police.
Oh, wow.
A total of 8 deputies rushed to the mall, located 35 miles north of Link, Atlanta. At Link, while traveling in emergency modes with lights and siren trying to render help to this alleged victim, police said, adding, "Such driving is not without risk to the public and deputies."
No, it's of course not. There's always a risk when you have to drive in emergency mode.
The teenagers, 19-year-old Christopher Kratzer and 17-year-old Ava Coleman, were arrested and charged with reckless conduct and raising a false public alarm. Mr. Kratzer was held without bond for violating the terms of his probation from a 2018 incident in which he threw blocks of wood at passing cars from the window of his vehicle, police said. Police officers will not face disciplinary action over custody death. Trump wishes Sir Kim Depp.
Ah.
The teenagers, 19-year-old Link, 704.
So wait, these police or these teenagers, they're not teenagers. I would call them young adults at this point. You've got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. No, those are young adults at that point. I would when you say teenagers, I think like 13, 14, 15, 16. When you get to like 17, 18, 19, you're in the late you're in the, end of your teenage years. You're approaching your young adult now. You know better. You definitely know better than to pull this crap. Yeah, July 3rd. So last Saturday.
Heading level 2 to items. Show all 50. Button. 10 July 2009.
Where did the story go? Oh, there we go. All right, here we go.
Leon and Miss Coleman was released shortly after on bond. The 8, 9, 10 July, 11 July 2009.
Oh, these are pictures.
8
Okay.
July. Miss Coleman was released shortly after on bond. The vehicle reportedly belonged to her father, who told deputies he let her use the car that day for the prank.
What? Her father let her use the vehicle for the prank? So he knew. Okay, so charge the father with accessory. Just, wow. Yeah, charge the father with being an accessory.
Doug Rainwater, a spokesperson for the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office, told the Link, Forsyth County News, that deputies ordered the suspects out of the vehicle at gunpoint. So many things could have gone wrong, he said. We truly thought that there was a kidnapping in process.
Yeah. Like those kids could have gotten shot.
Compliment heading level link image. Link end of compliment. Mr. Rainwater described the events as unacceptable, adding, for 20 straight minutes, we had deputies racing across Forsyth County to help this girl, thinking that this was a true abduction.
Yeah.
The sheriff's office. Your current link posted about the incident on Facebook, with one sheriff saying, if you want to create a social media following, I would strongly dissuade you from this stupidity. Good armed citizens might have been justified in using force to stop what they legitimately believed was a kidnapping.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those two dumbasses could have been shot. This is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I can't fathom this. This is starting to sound less and less like a prank. Yeah, this is just, I can't believe the father was like, yeah, you can go use the car for a prank. I'm fine with that. It's my car, but you can totally use it for this stuff.
Frame. Support Free Thinking Journal. Committing a criminal act for social media likes will get you arrested in Forsyth County. That's not the kind of attention most people want to have, the sheriff's office said. Offer 0Y6 complimentary. More about link.
And that's the end of that story. So the moral of the story is, if you want to have a YouTube channel, don't friggin' stage a felony for likes. That's probably the best advice I've ever heard. I didn't think it needed to be given, but hey, that's apparently the world we live in these days, where you need to be told not to stage felonious acts for views and subs. It's just a prank, bro. Yeah, I know. The screen reader must be a Zelda fan. It must say, keeps saying like, it. Yeah, it has to do that um when it brings, or when it hits a link. It has to tell you, so that if you want to click on it, you know that that's a clickable, like a thing that you can actually click on. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. So guys, it has come to the end of the stream. Let's do a couple of minutes, if you guys want to say anything or ask anything, and then I'm gonna have to end it and go back to mumming. But there is going to be a Star Trek stream tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. It's going to be covering the two-parter that ends season 2 and begins season 3 of Enterprise. The episodes, I believe, are called The Expanse and The Xendi. So we'll be covering those. Let's see. There are other ones in there that will really get you going hard, but I know you got to get going. Oh, definitely we'll pull those up for Blind in the Special and for next week. Sorry you couldn't book a guest today, says Chuck. I would have offered, but I know I'm not worthy. Oh, dude, it's okay. I would like to say that bacon makes everything taste better. Well, yeah. Yes, everything is better with bacon. Has your screen reader ever asked you, why do you make me read these things? If I ever read another AOC article, I will crash myself. No, it hasn't. But if it did, I would laugh and be sad that I didn't record it. That's a good one. That's actually pretty funny. So guys, on that note, I think I am going to end and head back upstairs, and we will see everybody tomorrow for the Star Trek stream, and on Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Blind and the Special. I hope everyone enjoyed the stream today, and thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out every day. I hope everyone has a fantastic Friday and a good weekend, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys.